Hi friends, welcome again to the Singer Studio. You find me at my piano today because we're going to start working through some repertoire. But I'm not doing my own repertoire. I'm going to start off with the tenor aria, Gelida Manina, when I'm going to show you how I would work at this either with another singer or if it were my repertoire. I'm going to be going through it in the terms of getting to grips with the phrasing and the text. Normally with these videos I will script them and you'll see me reading from a script or paraphrasing from a script. But this is literally just me working something out as we go along, all right? We're going to be looking at the Italian, we're going to be looking at phrasing, we're going to be looking at getting as much meat out of the Italian in the words as possible. So, che gelida manina. Let's go for it. Che gelida manina. Now, you've got an adjective and you've got a noun there. You've got gelida manina. And you've got che, what? A cold hand. The gelida of the G is not soft. It's not che gelida manina. You often hear it sung like that, but it shouldn't be sung like that because it's a single line. It's actually a declamatory beginning. It's just on an A flat. So you've got to bring some life and some warmth into it. So I would suggest putting a slight D in the D, yeah? Che gelida, che gelida, gelida. Now, an Italian out there is going to tell you it's gelida. Yeah, of course it is, but we're singing on a single line. We're trying to get the word to be alive, yeah? Che gelida manina. Don't listen to anyone that tells you that always a single consonant between two vowels must be quick and short. Not necessarily. We have something called phrasal doubling, but we also have something called natural expression. And most Italians would slightly warm up that M. Che gelida manina. Yeah, what is cold? The manina, the diminutive little hand. Yeah? So we get that. And then we go. Now, I'm not a tenor. I can't sing at pitch, yeah? So you'll hear me marking. We're going to talk about marking later. Se la lasci scaldar, se la lasci. Yeah? The CH there is very, very important, yeah? Se la lasci scaldar. You want to have a bit of se la lasci riscaldar. A bit of portamento going down from the higher notes, yeah? Scaldar. Cercar che giova. That A flat has to be very clear, very clear. Cercar. To search. Che giova. What's the point of looking, yeah? Al buio non si trova. Buio. What a beautiful word that is. Even Italians who are used to saying their language are going to find some quality of expression on that. Al buio non si trova. Ma per fortuna. You would want to double the P after ma slightly. Ma per fortuna. There's a slight element of portamento on the fortuna. Remember, with breath, with vibrato. E una notte. Ask yourself, why has Puccini done that there on the notte, yeah? Why has he done? In the dark, one finds nothing, yeah? Ma per sorry, wrong phrase. It is a moonlit night. So, ma per fortuna, but by fortune, è una notte. So you got the double N. Now again, someone's going to say una notte. If you're going to speak it, yes, una notte. Una notte. Sorry, my bad Italian. But you're singing it. And there's a reason why Puccini has put the ma per fortuna è una notte di luna. There's a reason why Puccini's done it. For me, it's a feeling of growing confidence in the character. Remember, this is Rodolfo singing, and even though he's a poor poet at this part of the opera, they're kind of basically students, He knows that he's creating. He knows that he's in that surge of creativity. When we are young, we can experience creativity so easily. It's like we just go to a tap and we pour it out. And then when we get older, often we become parents and we transfer the creativity into our children and into our life, and it's just paying bills, etc. We have to remember what it was like to be this 20, 18, 19, 17-year-old student, whoever old Rodolfo is, when he can just create. And he knows that when he sees this beautiful girl, Mimi, and he instantly falls in love, she awakens this element of creativity. So for me, that's Notte di Luna is an element of Rodolfo getting some flair. Oh my gosh, she's sitting down, she's listening. Let me expand, yeah? You've got these marks, Aquila, going up, yeah? But Puccini's written these little sort of accent marks, these little lines above the notes. So it's almost a stentorian kind of feeling. And there's also a ral, Aquila, but you're not being heroic here. You're just emphasizing Luna, yeah? So use those Aquila Luna. Use them to have some kind of, like you're walking up steps with heavy treads. Aquila. Then you're going to use the portamento on this long open vowel. Luna. Now you've got this beautiful l'abbiamo, l'abbiamo, vicina. So use that double B, l'abbiamo. Do you hear how my portamento has got vibrato? L'abbiamo, and then another cina. Now, I would suggest not using portamento there because that's a cadencing note. Vicina. I would let it just go Gina. Then it's got some sort of echo between Aquila with no portamento. Luna, l'abbiamo vicina. You finish that section now. Now you get this lovely, you return again to how you started, the A flats. Aspetti, signorina. Yeah. Now here, I've said in previous videos how it's a good idea to listen to great recordings and copy things that you hear nice. Now, the great Giuseppe Erling, I think the 1960, just before he died, Thomas Beecham recording, not quite sure which year it was recorded, you can correct me down below, did something beautiful. He did a little aspetti signorina. He just warmed the tone up a little bit on the signorina. And it's beautiful. And if I was a tenor, I would spend hours working out how to do that. But normally you just hear tenors go, aspetti signorina. Boring. There's an opportunity there for expression. And one of the greats who's gone before us has shown us. Copy it. Yeah? Aspetti signorina. It's a single line. You're back in declamatory period. So all you've got are the words. There's no melody here. It's just... yeah, yippee-doo, it's melody. No, it's not. It's a single line of text. When you get a single line of text, you have to have some element of expressive declamatory skill going on in your head, yeah? Le dirò con due parole. Le dirò. Dirò is an open vowel. Le dirò con due parole. So I have a phoneticization and a word-for-word translation. And even though I speak Italian badly, I want to make sure I'm absolutely right, yeah? It's basically saying, I will tell you. Le dirò con due parole. So the way I've spoken it then with that feeling of le dirò con due parole, yeah? You don't need to always be legato in music like this. If you're always legato, it's only one thing. As I said in an earlier video when I think I was talking about text, if you only have one method of expression, it becomes very boring no matter how good your voice is. So, le dirò con due parole. I'm very happy to let those consonants fall off before vocalizing the next vowel or consonant or word, yeah? Le dirò con due parole. Of course, parole. Very happy to have portamento there because, as I said, I'm not settling or landing on the end of a phrase. I'm going on. Chi son. You need to sing the son. Be careful of too much schwa. It's a bit sort of vulgar Italian. Chi son. You'll hear Italians do it, and you might want to copy it, but it's a little bit vulgar. Chi son. Puccini has written a diminuendo on the B flat, and it's lovely if you can do it. The orchestra on the next bar have got pianissimo, PP, in their part. E che faccio? Now it's lovely to do some phrasal doubling here. E che, to not go e che faccio. Otherwise, you're making it sound like un mio bambino caro. And I like to have contrast in all my music. So here, if I was a tenor singing this, or if I was coaching this to an actual singer, no portamento there, a slight double C, che faccio. No, you have got a double consonant, faccio, but you can still do portamento, faccio come vivo. How I live. Who I am, what I do, how I live. Yeah? Vuole. So we're going to break the rule that I said earlier. This is definitely a cadencing moment. Yeah? Would you like it? Vuole. Now, when you come off the air, there needs to be a slight lift, like the Australian inverted inflection or whatever it's called. When you slightly lift at the end of a sentence, you need to get that into there. Even though the phrase is falling with that downward portamento, you want to slightly lift it. Vuole. Chi son? Yeah. Who am I? Chi son? So you've got that slight hesitation in the music. Chi son? Work out a way. Are you just saying, because Puccini's written chi son, or who am I? Who am I? I'm a poet. Yeah. You want to have some build through the music. Remember, we're not just singing abstract words here. We're singing so that the listener gets a sense of what we're saying, as well as making everything beautiful. So, where are we? Sono un poeta. It's very easy to go sono un poeta and lose the un. As you know, in Italian, nouns are always preceded by an article. So sono un poeta. I'm going to be singing on the n, yeah? You can't sing on the p. It's an unvoiced consonant. Sono un poeta. But you can see I've just lifted my tongue. Sono un poeta. Technically, it's allowing my voice to feel that it has a nice forward buzz when I sing. But it also gives me the feeling of leading into an unvoiced consonant. When I'm making a statement, this is what I am. Sono un poeta. Now we're into declamatory mode. Che cosa faccio? So I don't want any portamento. I don't want any lyricism. Che cosa faccio? And what do? Scrivo. I write. Scrivo. There's going to be like a double C, almost like SCCH. Yeah, but it's not written that way. But it's not scrivo; it's scrivo. And you want to have a bit of energy in the text here from the lips and the tongue. E come vivo, vivo. Yeah. So I'm being a little bit declamatory. I've got my consonants rather strong here, almost Germanic in a way. E come vivo, vivo. That vivo, the second one, will have a double V. Vivo. That's allowed me to move into this more tender passage when I'm going to be far more lyrical. Now, if I was too lyrical in this passage, and I'm too lyrical in the beginning passage, and I'm too keen to show off my beautiful legato, as I said, I haven't planned this video very much. I've got text messages coming in all over the place. I do apologize, but I'm going to put it on as it is. If I'm too legato all the while, it's boring. It's like having a meal with one flavor and no spice, yeah? So all this, e come vivo, vivo, allows me now, without being too hectoring about it, without being too dramatic, to be in povertà mia lieta, scialo da gran signore. It's allowing me now to be very lyrical. In pure text, I have gone from talking about day-to-day things. How do I live? I live. I'm now going to start talking about castles in the air and how in my spirit, in my soul, I'm a millionaire. I'm now going to become lyrical and poetic in my text, yeah? So it allows me, I've earned the right to be very in povertà mia lieta. Can you hear how beautiful that portamento can be when one really engages with it? Of course, the double P. In povertà mia lieta. I'm going to build some energy. Scialo da gran signore. Yeah. So it's not scialo da gran, it's scialo da gran signore. I'm attacking the scialo. Yeah, which as we all know, means to be squandering, like the great lord. Rimedini d'amore. D'amore is a classic phrasal doubling place, yeah? Rimedini. You've got to sing that double N. D'amore. Personie per chi miere. It's too easy to lose rhythm here. Puccini has purposely written you some lines here with a double dotted rhythm going on. And he's talking about how he rhymes as a poet. So Puccini's reading this in Italian, responding in Italian, he is Italian, and he's got some sort of onomatopoeic quality going on here, yeah? So follow that. Rimedini d'amore. Nice long vowels. Personie per chi mie. Personie per chi mere e per castelli in aria. It's beautiful how Puccini allows the phrase to grow into what should be the most comfortable part of a tenor's voice, sort of the upper middle. Per castelli in aria. Yeah. It allows the voice to grow from this lyrical but still spoken area into the castellinaria, castles in the air. I have the soul of a millionaire. L'anima o milionaria. Then he can really let loose. And again, he's got one of those little flourishes, yeah? Sing it. Con molta espressione, this next phrase. But Puccini has written pianissimo in the orchestra. Now, it's too tempting for you. Tenor dal mio for. It's too tempting because you've been a little bit hamstrung, you tenors who like to blast out high notes, with actually having to do expressive traveling music. And now you've got the moment to unleash your voice. But it is so beautiful when you follow what the composer wrote, and you do. It's written in the orchestral part, the piano marking, but don't give it everything. As I keep saying, dynamics aren't a direction of how loud you sing. They're an emotional, expressive device. So you want to have an emotional expressive piano. Talor dal mio forziere. Puccini's again giving you those lines of tiere. So what he doesn't want there is vibrato. He wants that almost accented stepping area there. The talor, he wants portamento. Talor. Normally when composers of this era write con espressione, they really want portamento and rubato, yeah? Not so much rubato here because you've got this triplet movement in the orchestra. So you want to feel that you're moving forward in a maestoso tempo, yeah? But then you get Giolietti. And it's suddenly again grabbing the words after that big outburst of, talor dal mio forziere, after that beautiful moment when you're singing, sometimes from my treasure chest, they steal the jewels. Who steal the jewels? It's two eyes. You've suddenly got Texi, ruban tutti gioielli, due ladri belli. Get as much portamento in there as you can do, as much dolcissimo. And the whole thing is that if you grade the piano on the A flat, then you have enough dynamic contrast to go ruban tutti gioielli, due ladri occhi You've got a much dynamic contrast there. Can you hear how by really doing the and doing that double C, which is a hard C because it's followed by the H and the I, allows you then to maximize the portamento afterwards, yeah? And you can even do a slide double B on the You've got the double consonant of the L, which of course is a sung double consonant. Very easy to do portamento on sung consonants. But there's no rule which says that you should double the B on belly, but an Italian would. And by using the double C on the belly, it just asks you to put a bit more weight behind the word belly, yeah? Back in singing mode. Ventrar con voi por ora. Puccini's giving you these triplets here. When you sing in triplets, anyone that's sung a Viennese operetta with a great Viennese conductor, thank you, Maestro Brush, I did work with you in Germany, will tell you that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you're leaning on the third note of those triplets. So do it here. Make it a little bit Viennese. Ventrar con voi por ora. You can lean on those third notes of the triplets. Ei mi sogni usati. We're moving forward now, aren't we? And by leaning on that third note of the triplet is allowing us to move forward. But again, it's giving you this poco allargando. It's only poco allargando. Too much allargando here means the whacking allargando phrase that's coming up with a high C will be a little bit over sugar. Yeah? Hey, bason. You see that phrasal dubbing? Hey, bason. By really phrasal dubbing after the hey, bason, allows you to really get that quality of meaning in the text. The bason. Yeah. Now it's interesting that Puccini's gone. He wants you to go off quickly there, yeah? Why? Again, these are questions I don't have definitive answers. But for me, it would be so I can go, I can go a little bit cupo there. Hey, bason, You've got the gradual diminuendo in the orchestra, but you've been right up there. Bring it down. Use that little bocciatura there, yeah? Use the text. Dos, do, dos, do. Remember how I've said so many times in these videos that an unvoiced consonant can really help the legato because it accentuates and makes the legato more powerful when you do sing through, yeah? So use that unvoiced consonant there. Now, on the video that I'm going to make, or maybe I've already made it by the time I push this out there, about cadencing. You want to be internally feeling this powerful high C cadence. As I've said all the while, when you prepare an aria, you have an overview for it. You know where it's going. You know what different sections are. You know where the climax is going to be. You know where the music is leading up to the climax, and you can sail this ship through the aria so that the audience really understand it. They get maximum bang for their buck. They're not pondering where you are. You need to lead them as if they're children, yeah? So you need to know now that Mael Furton is an absolute pre-cadencing passage that's allowing you to go poiche fa presto stanza la sper. You're going towards that C and you're building up from it way beforehand, yeah? So know where you are in your music. This isn't something that is a harmonic truth. This is simply something which is going to happen and you must feel it, yeah? So think about that. Right, now you're in the big phrase. And this is, let's be honest, what most people come for. But Puccini, I'll put it on the screen. You can see Puccini's actually written the C as the third note of a triplet, quaver. And so it's short. It's even shorter than a normal quaver. What he wrote was, poiché fa presto stanza la speranza. Oh, don't want to sing it like that. Why did Puccini write it like that? The general consensus is that he knew that tenors would hold on to it, so he didn't need to write it long. He knew that people would hold on to it. Remember, Puccini was quite free with his music. When the famous story about when Enrico Caruso got the chance to sing for Puccini, and Puccini said, "Who, famous quote, who has sent you to me? God. Who has sent you to me, God?" Famous quote. And Puccini expressed, Caruso expressed the fear of the top C, and Puccini says, "Oh, don't worry about it. Take it down a tone, semitone, whatever you want." He wasn't wedded to these things. He knew that tenors would take liberty. When he writes things like piano or pianissimo, when Verdi did that, it's because they knew that singers would butcher their music to some extent, especially in those days when, listen to the early recordings of Matteo Bastianini. These people really took liberties with the music. They decorated the music. They took pauses where pauses weren't written. So you'll understand that Puccini wanted to have a little bit of control on there. But I think it's just written like that so that Puccini could fit it into the music. I think he absolutely wants it to be sung like it always has been sung, just like in Nessun Dorma and other Puccini arias. But what I think is our responsibility as singers is to put that high note in an overall phrase, so it's not just the high note. Now, all of us opera lovers have favourite recordings of this opera, but I have a definite favourite top C, and it's by a man called Salvatore Fisichella when he sang it in a live concert in Verona. And if I can, I will put it here in the video. So. This bit of editing. I love the way he approaches that C, and I love that portamento, because then it makes it like unwrapping a beautiful present. Yeah, if it's just poiché va preso stanza, look at those accents. Poiché va preso stanza. They're not the line accents. There's the upside down V accents. For me, in my reading of bel canto, they're more diaphragmatic impulses. Poiché va preso stanza. That gives me the ability to be able to soften my diaphragm. As you know, I'm a big believer in that the solar plexus should be very loose and very relaxed when we sing. We shouldn't have a locked-in support. And if I've got locked in, allows me to come soft in my body. So do those accents, yeah? La spare. I like to keep the triplet motive. La speranza is how I would like to sing it if I were a tenor. I know it's bloody difficult to sing it like that, and I know getting a C out is very impressive, and I'm always in awe of my tenor colleagues that can do it. But I don't want that C to be hit. What does the word mean, la speranza? It means the hope, yeah? He's singing about hope, and for me, that's what... I've said this before, when I sing a piece of music, I like to have one word in my head that encompasses my overall emotion for this piece of music. Well, it would be la speranza, the hope, youthful love, youthful belief in something better. If it becomes a la speranza, too stentorian, too aggressive, la speranza. If it's difficult to do it, the portamento, just make the C a bit shorter. I promise you, that portamento down is wonderful. And if you find out the link to that recording on YouTube of Fisichella singing this aria, it wasn't a natural Rodolfo, who's more of a Bellini tenor, one of my favourite tenors. You'll see people just go, well, that's the best top C I've ever heard. Yeah, it's not the longest. It's not the longest, but he presents it. Yeah? All right, let's carry on. Let's finish this aria. Orche mi conoscete. Again, lots of text. Orche mi conoscete. We're in declamatory single note mode while the orchestra is shifting tonalities and harmonics underneath, yeah? So you want orche mi conoscete. Now you know about me. Parla. I'm going to do a double P. Parla, the imperative. Parlate voi. You tell me de, modal participle. De doesn't mean anything, but it's a wonderful word. De parla. Yeah. So you can do double D and double P. De parlate chi siete. Or that portamento. Yeah. Breathe whenever you want. If you want to elongate this, vi piaccia dir, you can do, or, you know, there's a lot of this sort of some another more beautiful recordings live when he goes vi piaccia dir. It doesn't really make sense in Italian, but it's rather nice. But whatever. This is a cadencing moment, yeah? Vi piaccia di. You have to place that D as if you were just placing a rose on your beloved's pillow so that she sees it when she wakes up. But it has to be the most beautiful note. And you want to get that D. You want to get that honeyed mezzo quality sort of nasal buzz there. D. As if you were singing almost an uva behind it, yeah? And then give a soft dir, not dir. You're not looking for the audience. It's always best when the audience don't applaud in this aria because then she can come from nothing. Yeah. Maybe we'll look at the Si mi chiamano Mimi next time. Okay, this has been a half-an-hour video. I'm not going to cut any of this. I'm going to put it all up there. I know this will be, well, more of interest to tenors than anybody else, but I hope that these videos can show that I'm trying to explain the way that I approach text, that I approach my music. As I've said many times, one of the most transformative moments for me was working with the great director Graham Vick, who came into the National Opera Studio. And instead of directing us, he spent the first 9 days that we were lucky enough to work with him just going through the text like this, only in far more detail. He was a great, great man. And then when it was time to set it, we understood both what we were singing about and how to sing it so well that it became very easy for us just to set it. Yeah. Worked like this at the beginning of the learning process, really trying to milk all these words. And I've really rushed through this because I understand that people's attention span is short. My short videos get thousands of views and my long form videos don't. But if you are learning this aria and you disagree with anything that I've said, that's absolutely fine. All I want you to do is think about it. I want you to think about every note, not so that you become boring, not so that the actual act of spontaneity is killed, but so that you are able to every possibility in that glorious golden moment of performance when you are having this incredible conversation with 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people in the audience in the black of an opera house. Yeah. Okay. If you found this helpful, please like, share, get involved. I have a book coming out. The Path of the Singer, which is going to be very exciting. I'm going to be pushing the heck out of that. Find me on Facebook, and thanks so much for watching. More in the next one. See you then.